this? You guys ready for this? So what do we got? Armand's got some properties. Remember, everything is a story. You don't leave things out. Armand has a tendency of jumping to chapter 5, and then I got to remind people, hey, give me the introduction. So what are we talking about? What are we hoping to accomplish? And why is this amazing human being with you, Armand? Why is she here? What is she going to do for us?
She's going to help us figure out what we need out of a property and what we can justify.
Okay, great. Let's talk about the deals. You tell everybody, and then we're going to let Molly. Molly, I will give you co-host so you can screen share.
Yeah, so this is on market. I was on the set of Triple Digit Flip earlier today, and I thought, well, I might be useful with my time. So I looked at some unmarketed properties and I walked by them and I had a good conversation with the listing agent. There are an elderly couple that own 4 properties all by each other on the same road. They've owned it since the 90s. There is no debt on it that I can see in public records. And it's been listed since April.
Damn, it's been listed since April. So we got April, May, June, July is halfway over. So 4 months, and in 4 months, that's a long time.
And there's a price cut on 2 of them. So
damn, son.
Yeah. From 675 to 600. So that still is not necessarily reasonable, but there seems to be some more motivation there than might.
They at least have the recognition that they're completely out to lunch on their original price. That's a good sign. So let me tell you guys something really important, why I'm bringing this up. I want you guys to learn something very important. Armand comes to me and goes, hey, would you like to call this agent for me that represents this property? I go, what's the story? He's like, well, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Let's have a conversation with the agent. I'm like, bro, we should at least underwrite it before we call somebody to try and gauge interest. We indicated pain, which means they have properties on the market, have been on the market for a long time. What do the blue means? It means they've been sold. So guys, look at this. Active is green. Okay. So check this out. Those properties inside the cul-de-sac at 575 and 450 are not on a busy road. In fact, they're in a highly desirable cul-de-sac. They sold for 575 and 450. And these knuckleheads who are actually on a busy road, 24th Street is not a slow road. That's a somewhat busy road. They are $100,000 to $200,000 over the price of sold comps in a cul-de-sac. What does that freaking tell you?
These 3, 1, 2, 3 are not even the same seller. The seller we're talking about, it's this property, and then there's 2 business properties right next to each other.
Those are the same seller.
Those are the same seller. It's like, what in the world is this seller thinking? And this could be another reason why people are not buying here, is because now you have not 1, not 2, not 3, but all of the properties on that same street for sale. Everyone's like, okay, who got murdered, where, and what happened for you to be selling all of these properties all at the once?
Oh my gosh, I actually did not even think about that. There's 7. There's 7 properties in a row on the same street that are all for sale.
All overpriced too. So it's like something's either wrong with y'all, or one of you did it and you all got the same dumb idea.
Should we call the agent and say who got murdered? Can we call the agent?
Yeah, we can call the agent.
Yeah, let's just call him and say, hey, you know, we buy in this area. I just am curious, you know, there's 6 properties all on the same street. Is there something going on, like an opportunity zone, or what's going on? Like, you guys have this listed for a decent amount of time. Is there leeway? What's the goal here? Is it okay if I talk to them?
Yeah. Do you want to call them?
I'd love to, but like, is it okay if I call the agent directly unrepresented?
Yeah. Why not?
I'm asking this for other people. I know, obviously I know the answer. There's people in here that don't feel like they can ever call an agent. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I need an agent.
We're just normal people, guys.
This is Brian.
Hey, Brian, my name's Pace Morby. How you doing?
Hey, Pace. How are you, bud?
I'm doing great. I'm looking at this property on 24th Street that you have listed.
Yes.
Bro, I'm not an agent, so forgive me. I'm not that smart, but we buy a good amount of properties in the neighborhood. Why are there 7 houses listed all on that same street? Is there some opportunity zone or something coming up?
So yeah, the story on that is, it's a family that's owned that real estate since the 80s. And so there's the 4 listings that I have are owned by, there's literally 7 principals in that. And the 3 to the north are owned by one of the brothers.
Okay, got it. So same family all the way through the 7.
Yeah, and the brother that is by himself on those other 3 deals. He had his own agent. So I'm kind of working in conjunction.
Got it.
Had the whole thing in escrow with the developer from California, and they met it with the zoning attorney and couldn't do what their vision was for the property.
Were they thinking about scraping and rebuilding?
Yeah, they were going to scrape and build like multiple levels.
Got it. Okay.
Like maybe multifamily on top, commercial on the bottom type of thing.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. I have a couple of commercial guys that have been kind of around it. This one commercial guy, he said we'd take all 7 and then try to assemble the 2 houses that are on Elm and the 2 on Montecito, just to kind of create some more real estate, some more parking for it. But yeah, it's like one of the last contiguous rows of single family houses. The 2 of mine are already rezoned residential commercial. The 2 southern buildings.
Yeah.
Our residential office. And I mean, it's funny because I get a ton of wholesale guys that, message me about it. There was a guy that called me today. Is he with you, the Novation guy?
Oh yeah. Armand, even a Novation, it doesn't seem like the exit strategy would be single family to single family, like a flip. It seems like the best way to do this, it's got to be multifamily or scraping and going like 2-story homes if you are going to keep it single family. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's an interesting piece because it's going to take some creativity. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a huge opportunity there.
Is the family open to partnering with me if I scraped it and built multifamily?
That I don't know. I mean, they're a pretty conservative family. You talk about like there's 7 brothers and sisters.
That's a lot to navigate.
Yeah, I mean, there's 7 principals just on the 4 that I have. You talk about prolific real estate investors. They own real estate all over town, very influential family. And I've actually learned a lot from them, but they've literally owned these properties since the 80s, like 1986, something like that. So their mom is one of the part owners. The mom is older. They're just, I think, kind of looking to divest and to, each brothers kind of take their piece and go 1031 exchange into something else. I'll bring anything creative that you want to the table. I'm completely open, and the market's conducive for that. But man, that piece just screams highest and best use.
Agreed. I agree, because you look at the comp in the 2 comps in the cul-de-sac right behind you guys.
Yeah.
And it's like those sold in the 5s, somewhat renovated in a cul-de-sac, not on the busy 24th street. So it's like it has to be highest and best use. It has to be either scraped or reimagined to some degree in order for those sellers to get that number. Are the sellers aware of that, or are they kind of like belligerent, like, no, it's worth 600 grand? Yeah,
well, there's just a lot of family dynamics going on. The brothers don't want to necessarily compete with each other. And, all I can tell you is put something together. I'll present whatever you want to present. I know you know what you're doing. We were in escrow with another wholesale guy, and he just was kind of unprofessional. And fortunate we were only in escrow for like a week. I've had that thing in escrow now like 2 times, just looking to make sure that we got a deal. And, my sellers they know that there's a lot of potential in the property, and they're open. They're prolific real estate investors themselves. I mean, they've been doing it since before we were born, basically, they know their stuff.
What I'll do is I'll do some research on zoning and I'll spend some time on it. I mean, obviously that area is, you can't get much better of an area in all of town. If you can do something with that property, look at it from a different standpoint than single family. What I'll do is I'll do my research and my homework beforehand. Give me like a week. If you guys sell it, great. If you don't sell it, I'll come back to you in a week and I'll say, here's what I'm seeing. And I'll actually put some sort of packet together and go, here's what I plan on doing. And here's the creative solution I think I can provide. Worst case scenario, they say no to me.
Yeah. There's a row of 4 houses, literally the 4 houses just south of the Esplanade. I sold 3 of the 4 of those to another investor. Those closed earlier in the year for $550 a piece.
Yeah.
And I had them sold higher, but I don't know how they foresaw what was coming, what we're kind of in now. But they wanted to lock the buyer in, give the buyer a big incentive to stay put. And we closed those deals. And that's how I got these listings, because they saw that I sold those. That's a pretty somewhat good comp. Those 550 comps, they would definitely entertain, offers in that range.
I love this seller already, bro. Cause like so many people will just, especially if you've been in real estate since the 80s, They know
Yeah.
every real estate agent in town. They could have hired any real estate agent, but they
Yep.
chose the dude that sold the properties down the street. Freaking genius. I love it.
Yeah, let's do something cool with this property, and I'd love to have you take a look at it and bring your creativity to it, and let's do a deal,
cool.
man.
I'd love to. I'll be super professional. I'll reach out to you and I'll bring something worthwhile to you. And whether this deal works out or not, you and I will do a bunch of deals in the future together now that we got each other's phone numbers.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. I was nerve-wracked the whole time. I could barely handle that conversation, guys. It's so hard to talk to people.
Morby was not nervous on that phone call. He's making a joke, guys. He's being facetious.
I'm joking because I get so many people are like, how do I do this? It's like, guys, just pick up the damn phone and make friends with people. In fact, I have a disadvantage because people know who I am and they're expecting certain things. Like, it is not an advantage. In fact, most of the time when I tell sellers I'm on a TV show or they see my YouTube channel or they see my Instagram, sellers do not like it. So I don't use that to my advantage. The problem is most people in town know who I am. So I'm at a disadvantage. That guy's super cool. Other agents don't like that about me. Just get on the phone, become friends with people. Here's what I would do, Armand, just as a practice on this. I would say that you need to go do the research on this deal and you need to find out what the highest and best use is on this property before we call this guy back.
Sure. It's interesting that we're talking about a multifamily apartment because as I was looking at this with Molly, actually immediately across the street, there is a multifamily apartment that rents for hire. So I don't know, is that a good sign? Does that mean that
that's a great sign? And the good thing about Central Phoenix that it does not happen in Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert is like, we would not be okay with just scraping single family homes in our area and just turning them into multifamily. The zoning in Phoenix is all over the place. It's like, oh yeah, let's just turn this into a strip mall and put little cool restaurants. Like, you could do a lot more in Phoenix than you could do in Gilbert, Chandler, Mesa, etc. So there's a big opportunity there. And do you remember when you and I were driving down the street today? I was like, look at all this real estate.
Yeah.
There's multifamily all over the place, small multifamily, like little 16 unit, 20 units right on those busy streets. So you could probably do 2-story apartment buildings right there in that little strip and just have parking that goes around the back and like a little common area. And you probably have 4 different buildings that all have 5 units each type of thing. So like a 20 unit deal or a 30 unit deal, maybe right there. Guys, does this help you understand the business a little bit more? And like, I don't call agents and try and work out offers with them and lock them up into contracts. I don't want to be a wholesaler. Just like, think about that agent. Do you think agents don't know how dumb you are when you just go in there and lock up a contract? You have no business locking up a contract. This is why I disagree with most people's methods that are out there teaching. Like, yeah, just, get the contract, okay. But then you have no idea. You didn't do the research. You didn't learn how to be a real estate investor. Is the goal to be a wholesaler, or is the goal to use wholesaling to actually propel forward in the business? We use wholesale. We make millions of dollars wholesaling, but we utilize these situations to have actual conversations with people that know what the hell they're doing. And we go, I don't know what I would do with it, but let me do some research and I'll come back to you. But if you're a freaking wholesaler and you're like, yeah, I got to buy, I'm the buyer, send over the contract. And you're spending all this time and energy just trying to get a damn contract. And then a week later, what's being said about you behind your back is, yeah, we had another wholesaler guy that, acted all unprofessional. I'm grateful that we were only under contract with that guy for about a week.
That poor seller, we just bought their house and they've been so obsessed over our contract because of the wholesaler right before us. Obsessed over our contract, reading every teeny tiny little word, like cannot assign, can't sell it in the middle of the transaction while we sell or carry this, can't do any of this. It's like, yes, we promise we're not going to do any of that to you. We want this house. It's so sad though.
So great. Armand, did you get this? Are you satiated? Are you happy? Are you satisfied right now?
Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
Okay, cool.